NEC Article 334.12 addresses the use of Type NM cable underground. It states that Type NM cable shall not be used underground or in direct contact with the earth. This requirement aims to prevent the degradation of the cable's insulation and conductors due to moisture and other corrosive elements found in the soil. However, there is an exception. Type NM cable may be used underground if installed in a raceway that is approved for underground use and that protects the cable from moisture and corrosion. PVC conduit is approved for underground use and can provide protection from moisture and corrosion. However, it's essential to ensure that the conduit and its fittings are properly installed and sealed to prevent water ingress. The National Electrical Code does not specify a minimum distance for underground installation of NM cable and PVC conduit. However, a short distance, such as 15 feet, may be considered reasonable, provided certain conditions are met. Firstly, the cable is securely supported within the conduit. Secondly, the conduit and fittings are sealed to prevent water ingress. Thirdly, the conduit is buried at an appropriate depth to avoid damage from excavation. Ultimately, the decision of whether to allow NM cable and PVC conduit underground for a short distance rests with the authority having jurisdiction or OJ. Some AHA may permit this practice, while others may not. It is always advisable to consult with the local AHA before proceeding with any electrical installation. While the NEC generally prohibits the underground use of NM cable, it may be acceptable to install it in PVC conduit for a short distance if the following conditions are met. Firstly, the conduit is approved for underground use. Secondly, the cable is securely supported and protected from moisture. Thirdly, the conduit is buried at an appropriate depth. Fourthly, the AHA approves this practice. NM cable, or non-metallic sheath cable, is commonly used for interior wiring in residential buildings. It typically consists of 2 or more insulated conductors, plus a bare or insulated grounding conductor, all wrapped in a non-metallic sheathing. The NEC defines the acceptable uses and limitations of NM cable. Direct burial refers to burying electrical cables directly in the ground without any protective conduit or raceway. The NEC generally prohibits the direct burial of NM cable because the cable sheathing is not designed to withstand the harsh conditions of the underground environment. Moisture, chemicals, and physical damage can compromise the cable's insulation and lead to electrical hazards. A raceway is an enclosed channel designed to hold and protect electrical wires and cables. Common types of raceways include conduit, tubing, and cable trays. PVC conduit is a type of rigid plastic conduit that is commonly used for underground electrical installations. It is resistant to moisture, chemicals, and corrosion, making it suitable for direct burial. When installing PVC conduit underground, it is important to use the correct type of fittings and to seal all connections properly to prevent water from entering the conduit. Water ingress can damage the electrical cables inside the conduit and create a safety hazard. The depth at which underground electrical conduit must be buried is specified by the NEC. The required depth depends on the voltage of the cables and the location of the conduit. For example, conduit buried under a driveway must be buried deeper than conduit buried in a grassy area. The AHA is the local authority responsible for enforcing the NEC and other electrical codes. The AHA may be a city or county building inspector, a fire marshal, or another qualified individual. It is important to consult with the AHA before beginning any electrical work to ensure that the installation meets all applicable codes and regulations. Electrical codes are constantly evolving, so it's important to stay up to date on the latest requirements. The NEC is updated every 3 years, and local jurisdictions may also have their own amendments to the code. Staying informed about electrical codes can help you avoid costly mistakes and ensure the safety of your electrical installations. When working with electricity, safety should always be your top priority. Always disconnect power before working on electrical circuits, and use appropriate safety equipment such as insulated gloves and safety glasses. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it is best to hire a qualified electrician. Remember that electrical work can be dangerous, and it is important to take precautions to protect yourself and others. Furthermore, always follow manufacturer's instructions for any electrical products you install. This information helps ensure proper and safe operation. The NEC also provides guidelines for supporting cables within a conduit. This is important to prevent strain on the cable and to ensure that it remains properly positioned within the raceway. Use appropriate cable ties or straps that are approved for use in wet locations. Regular inspections of electrical systems can help identify potential problems before they become serious hazards. Check for signs of damage, such as frayed wires, cracked insulation, or loose connections. If you find any problems, have them repaired by a qualified electrician as soon as possible. When selecting electrical cables for underground use, be sure to choose cables that are specifically rated for wet locations. These cables have insulation that is designed to withstand moisture and other environmental factors. The type of soil can also affect the longevity of underground electrical installations. Some soils are more corrosive than others and may require additional protection for the cables and conduit. Consider using a corrosion-resistant coating on the conduit or selecting cables with a more durable sheathing. In addition to the NEC, other standards and regulations may apply to underground electrical installations. For example, local utility companies may have their own requirements for connecting to their electrical grid. Be sure to check with all relevant authorities before beginning any work. Improper electrical installations can lead to a variety of problems, including electrical fires, shocks, and equipment damage. It is important to follow all applicable codes and regulations to ensure the safety and reliability of your electrical system. If you are unsure about any aspect of an electrical installation, consult with a qualified electrician. They can provide expert advice and ensure that the work is done safely and correctly. It's essential to maintain detailed records of all electrical work, including permits, inspections, and material specifications. These records can be helpful for future maintenance and troubleshooting. They may also be required by insurance companies or other regulatory agencies. Always obtain the necessary permits before beginning any electrical work. Permits ensure that the installation will be inspected and approved by the AHA. Working without a permit can result in fines and other penalties. Moreover, the absence of a permit may complicate matters when selling the property. Consider using a ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI, to protect circuits that supply power to outdoor equipment or wet locations. GFCIs can detect small electrical leaks and quickly disconnect power to prevent shocks. If the NM cable is exposed to physical damage, consider using a more robust type of cable, such as underground feeder or UF cable. UF cable is designed for direct burial and is more resistant to moisture and physical damage than NM cable. Always label electrical panels and circuits clearly. This will help you and others identify the correct circuits for maintenance and troubleshooting. Use a permanent marker or label maker to create clear and easy to read labels. When working with underground electrical systems, be aware of the location of other utilities, such as gas lines and water pipes. Contact the local utility companies before digging to avoid damaging these utilities. Damaging underground utilities can be dangerous and can result in costly repairs. Consider using a trenching machine to dig trenches for underground electrical conduit. Trenching machines can dig trenches quickly and efficiently, and they can help minimize soil disturbance. However, be sure to use caution when operating a trenching machine and follow all safety guidelines. When backfilling trenches after installing underground electrical conduit, use clean fill material that is free of rocks and debris. This will help protect the conduit from damage. Compact the fill material properly to prevent settling. Also, make sure to restore the ground surface to its original condition. Consider using tracer wire when installing underground electrical conduit. Tracer wire is a conductive wire that is buried alongside the conduit. It can be used to locate the conduit in the future using a metal detector. This can be helpful for maintenance and repairs. When making connections in underground electrical boxes, use waterproof connectors and sealant to prevent water from entering the box. Water ingress can cause corrosion and electrical problems. Inspect underground electrical boxes regularly for signs of water damage. If you find any water, have it removed and repair the box as needed. If you are planning to install a swimming pool or hot tub, be sure to follow all applicable electrical codes and regulations. Swimming pools and hot tubs require special electrical bonding and grounding to prevent shocks. Hire a qualified electrician to install the electrical system for your swimming pool or hot tub. They can ensure that the installation meets all safety requirements. If you are planning to install a solar power system, be sure to follow all applicable electrical codes and regulations. Solar power systems require special wiring and grounding to prevent electrical hazards. Hire a qualified solar installer to install your solar power system. They can ensure that the installation meets all safety requirements. Consider using energy-efficient lighting and appliances to reduce your electricity consumption. Energy-efficient products can save you money on your utility bills and can help reduce your carbon footprint. If you're planning to build a new home, be sure to plan the electrical system carefully. Consider the location of outlets, switches, and lighting fixtures. Work with a qualified electrician to design an electrical system that meets your needs and complies with all applicable codes. Before making any electrical modifications, consider the existing electrical load on the circuit. Overloading a circuit can cause it to trip or even start a fire. If you're unsure about the electrical load, consult with a qualified electrician. Consider using surge protection devices to protect your electronic equipment from power surges. Power surges can damage sensitive electronic equipment such as computers, televisions, and appliances. Surge protection devices can help prevent this damage. When replacing electrical outlets or switches, use tamper-resistant outlets and switches, especially in homes with young children. Tamper-resistant outlets and switches have a built-in safety mechanism that prevents children from inserting objects into the outlets. Consider installing a whole-house surge protector to protect your entire electrical system from power surges. Whole-house surge protectors are installed at the main electrical panel and can protect all of your electrical equipment from damage. Consider having a professional energy audit conducted on your home. An energy audit can identify areas where you can save energy and money. The auditor will inspect your home and provide recommendations for improvements, such as adding insulation, sealing air leaks, and upgrading to energy-efficient appliances. When hiring an electrician, be sure to check their credentials and experience. Ask for references and check online reviews. Make sure the electrician is licensed and insured. A licensed electrician has the training and experience to perform electrical work safely and correctly. Insurance protects you from liability if the electrician is injured on your property. Finally, always remember that electricity can be dangerous. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, hire a qualified electrician.